everyone. Hope you're having a wonderful day, wonderful night, wonderful time zone wherever it is you are. Currently, you can see that I'm practicing a spoiler for the run that's about to come out. So, this is Viewfinder. It is another first-person puzzle platformer, which if you've seen any speedrun of mine ever, you know that I probably run a lot of these. And so this is the newest one that came out this year, around July of this year, and I'm super excited to show it off because it's a really unique game and something that has already gotten a lot of attention in the speedrunning space, but something that I think should get more attention because it's a great run with a great community behind it. And so I'm gonna start a new game here, and then timing is gonna begin when I load into the first level, and I'll explain a lot of the mechanics as we go along. There's a lot to explain and not a lot of time to explain it, but we're just gonna do set it at 8% today, which is all of the mandatory levels. There's a lot of other stuff that you can collect in this game, and so I highly recommend checking that out because I'm not gonna be showing off everything, so there's gonna be a lot more for you to discover on your own. With that being said, I'm gonna go straight into level 1 here. Timing will begin once we load in 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, so the main mechanic behind Viewfinder is that any image that you see, like this one, you can just paste into reality like that. It just becomes real. And so it's a little bit perspective based, much like other games like Superliminal, another game that I run very well. And so one thing you're gonna be seeing me do a lot is like stuff like that, where I use the pictures to like drop down items that are within them, like batteries and stuff like that. And we have very precise lineups that allow us to pretty much do things perfectly like that, where it'll fall directly onto the sensor, the battery, and turn on the teleport to next area. And so unique stuff like that is going to be shown off a lot throughout this run. And because of the very unique mechanic of this game, we can actually do a lot of really cool skips, like so. Instead of going all the way around, you can just paste this bridge up here, angle it at a very specific angle, and then boom, you're at the end. We're gonna do, this is actually the intended solution, but it's a really cool way of doing it. And so you're gonna be seeing me just take this, put on the sensor, and then behind this wall is another battery. And every time you see me like paste a picture into the environment, I'm going to be jumping while I'm doing it, because when I jump, my movement speed doesn't slow down, because usually when you hold down right click to like pull up an image to paste it, it'll slow down your movement. And so right here we're going to be falling downwards, and after 4 photos a paradox happened. Surprise, we're in a simulation. This is not real. Who could have guessed? So essentially what we just did was that we made the simulation crash by just overloading it with photos because it's unstable right now. And so this is a thing that will only happen once in the run. So enjoy the real world. It looks horrible. Let's see how fast I can push all these buttons. Pretty fast. Okay, I thought I lost muscle memory on that, but that was pretty good. So we just do the classic IT solution of turning the simulation off and then turning it back on. And now everything's fixed. For real, like this never happens like again in the entire run. You'd think it would, but it doesn't. But yeah, as soon as the save icon appears here, we are going to exit to main menu and then just spam enter so we can continue, and it'll teleport us right back to the front of this teleporter where we can enter the level without having to do a bunch of walking. And now we're going to be doing the intended solution of this level, and you want to pretty much minimize the amount of pictures you're using. You only need 2. You don't need any more than that. Angling it upwards, you can get a bit more distance and a bit more height, and so that's pretty useful. This next level that we're going to be going into is just the game flexing on how cool it is, because we're going to be going into different art styles of pictures, like so, and they become real things just like regular photos. Oh, come on. So one thing that's interesting about the rewind mechanic in this game, first off, it allows us to pretty much fail as much as we want to, and we can just redo it. But the other cool thing about it is that, oh, excuse me, is that whenever you like are not on a flat surface or like a solid surface, you just press the rewind button once and it'll put you back to the next solid surface that you were on. And so that is pretty useful in runs. It just makes redoing stuff really, really easy. And it makes it pretty marathon safe because you can just redo anything. So right here, we're going to be going to the last level of World 1, and we're going to be introduced to another mechanic known as photocopiers. I'm going to be turning this image in midair as I'm falling down, because I'm going to be turning this image, and because we need both of these batteries to fall in the sensor, and so, you know, one of them is already turned by the time we're there. So the photocopiers, as they do photocopy things, you can photocopy however many paintings or however many photos like the photocopier says that it can paint, it can copy. And so right here, that's a nice skip. You're usually supposed to go like to up a bunch of stairs to your left, but you've just turned the image to the right side and just angle it at a very specific angle. You can walk down all of like the side of the image that you're not really supposed to walk down, and just immediately get to the teleporter like that. So this is Kate the cat. Kate the cat doesn't really come into play a lot in any percent, especially because I have audio turned off, because it can be distracting. But Kate is an artificial intelligence that is supposed to help us through this simulation that we're going to be going towards. And so right now I'm going to be doing a skip, or at least attempt to do a skip, which I clip out of this tram ride. And so once you do that, once the tram moves to the next area, it'll go towards this loading screen that'll keep teleporting you out. And so the moment that it gets to the next area, you are immediately teleported to like the designated spawn point of that area. And so that's a really useful trick. We're going to be seeing it two more times throughout the run. I can explain it a bit more in depth once it gets to the second part. This level, it's pretty much all intended. It's the illusions level. Just line yourself up at the correct angle, and all of the paintings will turn into real objects. Very Superliminal-esque, if any of you have played that. And now we are going to line ourselves up here. This is the final painting of this level. Boom. In this level, this is a nice level to do. It's very satisfying to do. It's fast. Just boom, jump, and have enough height over here. Jump over the fence and line yourself with this image. That turns into another image where you can line yourself up with like so, and that turns into the teleporter. That first image where you have to jump in order to put the painting, you really want to make sure that you're lining that up correctly, in order so that the wall isn't in the way. So right here, we're going to be turning on some RGB lights, and the third light we get to turn on by going through this wall, and then turning on like that through the wall. And now we're going to line ourselves up here, and the red, green, and blue lights will line up perfectly to create the actual image that we need to see. So that's the end of the first level of World 2. And now we're going to go straight into the second level of World 2, in which you are going to be skipping all of this by just lining yourself up here and just jumping like that. Just barely jumping at the edge. You don't want to do it at the very, very, very last moment, but like as close to the last moment as it can be. Essentially. This level is interesting. It's pretty much intended, but like the way that we go about it is pretty interesting. So right here, we're going to be taking this guy, taking this battery, tossing it over the camera, taking a picture of it in midair, putting this battery on here, and taking the picture that we just took of this battery and placing it there so that it powers the teleporter, because it needs 2 batteries to be on. Right here, we're going to take a picture that'll open up past this fence. We're going to take a picture of the standing camera that we just saw and put the standing camera right here. Then we're going to take a picture with the picture of the standing camera of the teleporter to turn it over, and then you can exit the level. You don't have to like interact with the original teleporter. You can interact with like a copy of the teleporter and it'll still work. So now we're going to go into the last level of World 2, which has more interesting puzzles that fleshes out the mechanics. We're going to be taking this, boom, and hopefully this works. Okay, I was afraid that was going to fall off. So that catches that, and here's juggling. It's as simple as it sounds. It's not easy, but it's simple, in which you have to juggle the batteries one after the other by pushing them, and it's something that requires a lot of like time to master. You're jumping over here, skipping, walking around this area, placing this image that we just took right here. And I'm actually going to make it a bit lower like that. There we go. All right, perfect. We're gonna take this battery, we're gonna put it right here in line of sight of this camera, take a picture of it, and then as we walk backwards, we're going to be pasting this picture. That'll put down the second battery, and then boom, we can leave. And then we're going to actually fall down here, because when you fall, it'll teleport you back to the designated spawn point, and then you can just go immediately over to level 3. We're going to go to world 3. You can see that each world is named after a specific scientist that worked in this simulation. There are 4 scientists who all work together, and through different audio messages you can see the stuff that they worked on, and so that's kind of the lore drop of this area. So I don't think we're going to get it this time, the train skip, only because sometimes the game just doesn't want to give it to you. However, we do have a backup in that you can just quit to main menu. It's a little bit slower, but as soon as you enter the next area, as soon as it loads in, you can just go. So right here, we're going to be turning on some more lights, some more RGB lights right here. We're going to be lining ourselves up with this, and then jumping across with boards that held the frame together. On this light, and turning on that light, lining ourselves up here. Boom. There used to be a different strat that we had here, but thankfully in a specific update it allows us to skip some dialogue coming up, and we don't have to wait for the dialogue to finish before we progress with the rest of the level. And so instead, what we do is we just take this image, boom, and here is an image that has a camera in it, and we're going to rewind, take the camera again, and that skips us having to wait for the dialogue in order to use the camera. And now we can just make images that will. Each of the cameras have a limit to how many images you can put. You can see there's a number on it. You can only use the cameras within the levels that have them. You're not just going to have them in every single level. This skip is really cool. If you're really close to a wall and then you go down and paste that image, you can just fall through the wall. We're going to take a picture of this teleporter and fall directly into it, like so. Take a picture of this teleporter and then falling down. And you don't want it to be too angled, the teleporter to be angled too far up or down, because otherwise you won't be able to interact with it. It does have to stay upright to a certain extent, which hopefully we will not see that message that says it needs to be upright. This is a simple level. Just take a picture of teleporter and fall down to get it. This level, we're going to take a picture of the final teleporter and the sensor that's next to it, and then we're going to be lining it up specifically right here so that this battery falls onto the sensor, and then take a picture of the battery and have that fall down. Sensor is now powered, and you can exit the level. Now we're going to go here. We're going to be taking a picture of this door frame and lining it up here so that it pretty much gets rid of everything behind it, right? So we want it to be lined up specifically so that we can get these guys. We want to get this film in order to or these pictures, these Polaroid pictures, in order to have more pictures available to you. And so right here, we're going to be taking a picture of that battery and using the floors as a bridge across. We're going to push this. I was trying to juggle that, but it's fine. We're going to just push these towards the sensor. This part of the level does have a nice strat to it. We're going to be taking a picture of the battery and the sensor and the teleporter all at once. And we're going to be lining it up so that we can just put it right here. I was a little afraid of the angle in which the platform was at, that if I just threw them, that it would fall down, so I was a little bit safer on that end. In this level, we're going to back up to take a picture of the teleporter and the lever that it happens. You want to make sure that all of it is in the photo. Angle it at a specific angle so that Kate can appear on top of it. And then we're going to bounce on top of Kate. So we can pull the lever, and boom. We're going to turn right here, pull this lever, take a picture of the teleporter and the lever while the lever is pulled. Boom. Then this level, you can just jump and barely be able to grab this lever. Then take a picture of it as you're falling down and land on the picture. And a similar shot here where you can just turn on this as you're falling, take a picture of teleporter, and interact with it on the way down. Perfect. Now we're going to go into the next level, in which we're introduced to another mechanic known as timers. And so when you go to this sensor, first of all, I forgot to do this. And second of all, we're going to put that here. You're going to turn on the sensor, and that turns on a timer. And so once that timer falls down, or once that timer runs out, that is when the connection will cease to exist. And so you can actually like have a disconnect between like the lever and the timer. It's just the timer kind of like saves up some power in order to use for the teleporter, but you do need to get there before the power runs out, which is why you can cut it off like so. This one's a cool one, in which you power a teleporter, and as it's counting down, you take a picture of it and then fall down and get to the teleporter before the timer runs out.
We traditionally do in-person events, but today,
and same thing here, turn on the sensor, take a picture of that timer as you're falling,
which we are doing in between our main in-person events
level. And now we're going to be going into a level that is all about illusions. However, there's two levels that I have to get to before I get to the strat. So if you want to say something, you can right now.
About NorthWest SpeedFest, you can go to our Twitter, which is twitter.com/NWSpeedFest, or you can join our Discord, both of which have been linked in chat.
Alright, thank you so much for playing. What you just saw me do there was a relatively frame perfect trick. I don't know if it's quite frame perfect, like literally, but it's really hard to pull off, in which like that battery that you just saw in the column is scripted to turn into a painting if you get too close to it. But once you like get too close to it and then you rewind, if you rewind on the same frame and then like you finish the rewind on the same frame in which the battery was supposed to turn into the painting, the battery will just stay solid. And so that was something that I got on second try, and I'm really proud of that. So as you can see, we got train skip this time from World 3 to World 4. World 4 and World 5 are pretty hard, but hopefully we can get it down. Right here, we're going to be taking a picture of this teleporter and the sensor, landing it so that that battery over there falls on the sensor, and then we can put this battery on top. So right now we're going to be doing a rewind glitch, in which we have to restart the level. And then we're going to be doing some movement right here, very specific movement. We're going to be walking down, and we're going to be rewinding the same moment that we sit down in this chair. And as soon as you see me look down, I'm going to get rid of stop the rewind, get out of the chair, and boom. You are suddenly teleported to where you stopped the rewind after exiting the chair. And you can just use that to your advantage. And the moment that the rewind stops, you can just spam jump so that you can continue to... You need to spam jump so that you can get a free jump in midair, which is how we did that. So right here is known as mug launch. You need to line yourself up specifically, and then boom. Oh, excuse me. So the mug is supposed to fall down. You want to line yourself up right here. Ooh. Okay, this is how the mug wants to behave today. Trust that. There we go, perfect. Okay, the mug has weird physics, and if you jump, I mean, this whole game has weird physics if you think about it. And so if you jump at the right time as you bump into that mug, it'll just launch you upwards like that. That saves a lot of time, and it's finding the right setup for it makes it not quite free, but it still saves a lot of time if you can get it down. We're gonna take a picture of this battery. We'll take a picture of the battery twice so that it powers the sensor. Oop, come on. There we go, thank you. Take a picture of the sensor and the teleporter over here. Put it right here so that the battery falls onto the sensor and you can put the teleporter. Behind this wall, you're going to take a picture of this wall, and behind it is a sensor teleporter with a lever. And one thing that I haven't explained yet is the main mechanic of World 4, in which there are these like purple architecture. Everything is like tinted in this bluish purple color, and if something is tinted in a bluish purple color, that means you cannot take a picture of it, and if you try to, it will not appear in your camera. And if you paste something in the environment, the purple, like anything that's tinted purple, just will not disappear. And so we can use that to our advantage, as you've already seen. We're going to line this up so that this level introduces boom boxes and sound. You can see that there are sensors that pick up the sound from the boom boxes. And so you line yourself up because there's a boom box behind that wall. So you can just line up the pitch to activate both of the sensors. We're going to take this speaker and line it up so that it activates this sensor, that activates the portal. You can see that there's a lot of blue and purple tinted stuff in this level. So we can paste this guy right here. And you don't have to worry about it getting in the way of anything, because again, you can't get rid of anything. And all you have to do is line it up twice, so that it can barely activate the last sensor. We're going to take this speaker and we're going to line it up with the sensor at the very end here, so that it activates immediately, and then just go in. And now we're going to be taking this guy. You can see that there is a sensor on it. We're going to activate this speaker, and so that activates this sensor. On the second half, there is a timer. We're going to take a picture of it as it's counting down and then paste it here so that the rest of it counts down as the speaker is activating the last sensor. And right here, we're going to be doing a very interesting shot. We're going to photocopy this image. As you can see, right here is the exit. There's a speaker right here in this image, and we're going to be lining it up so that it lines up with the speaker, with the sensor as close as possible, and then boom. You can just immediately go. That skips a lot of puzzle solving.
Yeah, sure.
Just immediately line up the last sensor with the last speaker, and then activate it and walk out immediately before the speaker turns off.
For today and yesterday, we've had a lot of great runs.
This is another level that is just walking and a lot of pretty colors of clay. We're going to go through a lot of these filters. You're going to see that the world's changed. And all of these, there are going to be certain barriers that can only be like accessed if you're in a specific filter.
For that, but besides that, thank you for watching and for being here.
Thank you so much, Clay, and thank you to the rest of the NorthWest SpeedFest team for having me. So right here, we're going to be doing very specific movement in order to avoid like having to go through a lot of filters here. And by that, I mean, I'm going to activate this sensor. And you will like, the teleport will just turn off and you have to do that whole thing all over again. It only loses like 7 seconds if you mess it up each time, but it's annoying. You're going to activate that lever, and then you need to look at this weather machine. This is a weather machine, and you need to look at it. If you don't look at it, the cutscene will not play. And you want it to deactivate, because I'm just going to walk around here. That's just part of the story, and then boom. That was just us watching a cutscene, pretty much. Now, that's the last level of World 4. We're going to go straight into World 5, which is the last world. This time, we are actually not going to be doing train skip, because it's actually going to be faster to quit to main menu and then start again. For this specific level, because the spawn point is closer to, like, the spawn point for saving and quitting is going to be closer than the spawn point for, like, voiding out and using train skip. And so it just saves more time. As you can see, it's right here. If you had done train skip, it would have sent you to the bottom of the stairs. So right here, we're going to be introduced to another late game mechanic, and it is called taking pictures of yourself. You do have a model in this game, and you can take a picture of it, and you're going to line yourself up very specifically right here. Like, you want to be lined up and go away from the image a bit, please. Okay, I'm just going to rewind here. Come on. This is a very precise lineup. Oh, come on. There we go. Hopefully that works. It did. Okay, perfect. So this black image that's like taking up most of the picture, that's me. Thank you. And so you want to like be like ever so slightly away from the image, because if you're away from the camera, because if you're like dead on top of it, it won't actually end up taking a picture of you. And so we're going to be activating this camera and pulling this lever, having it take a picture of us again, so that we can line up ourselves and immediately go to the teleporter once we teleport out of the cage here. We're going to be turning on this image, this we're going to be taking this battery, and then as the timer is running out to take the photo, we're going to drop this. Hopefully that worked. And ooh, that didn't work actually. I was too close to the edge, and so that it didn't take a picture of the full battery. That's more like it. So now we're going to be just doing some parkour here. Oh, come on. Perfect. Oh. There we go. And now here we're going to be doing a really interesting strat. We're going to take 2 pictures of ourselves, facing towards the camera. Like so. And then we're going to be jumping up in the air and then immediately placing both of these photos up so that we can just go straight to the teleport at the end. That is a lot harder than it looks. It's very quick. You need to paste those images quickly. So now we're introduced to the like final late game mechanic, which is known as the void cameras. They create voids, like so. It is a jarring thing to look at the first time. It kind of jump scares you, but we use the void camera to our advantage a lot of the time. It's just like a regular camera, except anything you take a picture of just voids out, and you can't take another picture of it, essentially. We're going to be taking a photo here in this next level of the sensor and like the teleporter behind the wall. Take a photocopy of it, line ourselves up here first. I want that to be a bit more down, and then using the second image to just drop the battery onto the sensor right here, so that activates the portal. So here behind this wall is another wall that we're going to use as a platform in order to grab this battery. And since the void camera got rid of the wall, we don't have to do anything else. We just have to put the battery on the sensor and exit the level. Now we're going to go into the last level of World 5, and then we're going to go to like the final boss level. And so we're going to be taking a picture of this guy, this battery way over yonder, putting it right here. And actually, nope, I'm a liar. We're not going to do that. We're going to be taking a picture of this guy. We're going to be lining it up over here, so that takes a picture of this image right here. And as soon as it takes a picture of that, we're going to also take a picture of the battery. This is the strat that I know, and it is also faster. So why don't we do it? So we're going to be taking pictures and putting down both of these images so that the batteries fall down. Ideally, they would want to fall down on the sensor, but that unfortunately did not happen. We're going to take a picture of the majority of this bridge as it voids out, because we're going to use it as a platform to take a picture of ourselves as the standing camera whilst runs out. Boom. Then we're going to be taking this very image, turning on this sensor, and then teleporting ourselves over here. Oof. Go on. There we go. Sometimes if you do it too low, you can like clip yourself into the floor, like we just saw. So now we're going to go to the very final level of the game. It kind of combines a lot of the mechanics that we've seen. So first, we're going to take a picture of this floor right here. Then we're going to start the timer. It's 5 minutes. We're going to be using this as a bridge across, taking a picture of this building. And there we go. And now we're going to be taking this image, using it as a platform across here, switch over to the void camera, take a picture of what's behind us, pull this lever, take a picture of what we use, the picture we just took, or to walk across here, switch over to the void camera again. We're going to be taking a picture of the boombox. Here from a very far distance. Pull the lever, switch over to the void camera, take a picture of the photocopier behind this area, and we're going to be putting it right here. Switch to the void camera, take a picture down here. Photocopy this image that we just took of the battery in order to have both batteries land on this sensor. Ideally, they would have. Switch to the void camera again. Take a picture of this wall.
Hey everybody, sorry about that. We were getting those technical issues sorted out, and now Oz is gonna finish out Viewfinder.
All right, wonderful. So we're going to continue in 3, 2, 1, go. We're going to take the picture that we just saw, and we're going to be putting it right here. Then using this image, using this standing camera, take a picture of ourselves to teleport ourselves past this wall. Pulling this lever, and then using switching images, and then using this one as a bridge, and then using the final image of the boombox to activate the sensor over here. Boom, jumping up, and then pulling that lever. That is the end of the level. However, it is not time. We do have to sit through a cutscene, unfortunately, with Kate. This is where we have to say goodbye to Kate, because Kate only exists in the simulation, and we are about to leave it for the final time. And so that is a very sad reality to sit through.
I don't really have too much for you
Clay,
guys.
if you want to
thank you,
say
Oz,
like
for
a quick thing,
do you have any
right now you can,
shout
because
outs
this
or
is,
anything
this
while
is a small
we're
cutscene. So
sitting through this cutscene?
yeah. If you want more of this, you can follow me on twitch.tv/Ozmourn. I'm doing a lot of other content on my stream right now, but sometimes I speak on these. So this is the part where we say goodbye to Kate. Everyone say goodbye to Kate, because bye Kate.
Bye,
and
Kate.
there he disappears. Back into the simulation he goes. As we leave. So yeah. I'm active a lot on Twitter as well. So Twitter/Ozmourn. I'm Ozmourn like every social media imaginable. Shoutouts to the Viewfinder community and everyone who has grinded this game down to the bone. It was optimized very quickly and found a lot of cool glitches, and we're still finding stuff, so it's very nice. Timing ends in 3, 2, 1, now. So yeah, thank you. That is all. That is Viewfinder. If you liked what you saw here, please join the Discord. You can look us up on speedrun.com. We're a pretty active community, and I highly recommend checking this game out if you haven't already. It's around $20 on Steam, or $25, one of the two. And it's a very fun game. Very much worth it, especially if you're going to speedrun it. So I'm going to hand it off over to Phantom for the final run of Paper Mario Randomizer. That's gonna be a lot of fun. I know he puts his heart and soul into those, And so I highly recommend staying around for that. And thank you so much to NorthWest SpeedFest